everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be talking about vaccines. Who made it? How was it made? Why was it made? And how does it work? Please follow to the end of the video to get all of the details. Leave a subscribe, comment, thumbs up, or share if you like this video. Thank you for supporting me. The first person who made vaccine was Dr. Edward Jenner. Dr. Edward Jenner inoculated Phipps, an 8-year-old boy, from a cowpox sore on his milkmaid's hand. 2 months later, July, Dr. Jenner inoculated Phipps again, but this time it's a smallpox sore. Phipps, even though was inoculated, he was still healthy, and that the myth was busted. About the myth, many people was spreading the myth that people who got cowpox is immune to smallpox. Dr. Jenner heard and wanted to try. Turns out the myth is busted, and it's true that the first vaccine was created. But people tend to believe weird things in that age. People believed and said that those kinds of vaccines turns people into cows. Seriously? No way. In 1801, this vaccine was proven to be completely effective in reducing and eradicating the cases of smallpox. In 1980, WHO, or World Health Organization, declared that smallpox was completely eradicated. Oh my God. The first time ever in 3,000 years. 30 centuries. Dr. Jenner paved our way for many of our latest vaccine inventions against dangerous diseases. Smallpox was one of the most dangerous diseases that humans had to face. And yet, it's the only disease that we have a vaccine for, other than COVID-19, since it is now qualified and seen as a normal disease, just like the flu. But in the past, the flu spreads more than coronavirus. But it's even more harmless than coronavirus, and coronavirus is told contagious. And it's also a fast pandemic too. So that makes it extremely dangerous. Just kidding. So now onto the how vaccines work. Vaccines help our body prepare for the fight. Imagine an antibody or a virus gets into your immune system. They multiply and then wreak havoc in your immune system. Your lines of defense can't stop them. What do they do now to keep your body? For you, it's just a minor annoyance. But for them, it's a fight for life and death. What do your immune system do to stop the virus from taking over? Well, one simple thing, using helper T cells and helper B cells. Helper B cells and helper T cells help make the antibodies, tiny little shaped molecules that looks like nails, to help rip out the virus. Then our dendritic cells, with our many cells like killer T cells and neutrophils, roam the area. The dendritic cells collected the pieces of the virus, or the dead macrophages. Macrophages are one of our most skilled fighters. Well, it's not one of our most skilled fighters, but it's still a fighter. It's bad, and the macrophages will be sad if they know we're not worshiping them. Just kidding. The macrophages are so tired of eating too much viruses and then fighting against them. The dendritic cells hurriedly clone. Does it clone itself? No. The bacteria, aka the virus, clones itself. Then the dendritic cells uses that advantage, rips them apart, and cover their bodies in whole bacteria or virus parts. Ew! Then the dendritic cells are folds up to the body's nodes, lymph nodes. They meet the helper B cells and helper T cells. The helper T cells have trillions, thousands of them, but only one of them had the right antibody, had the right cure for this virus. But for every T cell, there are one B cell that has a cure, and they can make together, they can make the antibody right for our body and for our virus. The virus slowly disappears right after. The antibodies go in, tear them apart. But how do we have an antibody? What's an antibody? Antibody, I just briefly explained. It helps kill the viruses, and it's the most effective medicine. Just like for us, medicine is the most effective way to get rid of illnesses. For our immune system, those are kind of weapons like guns or swords, but they're better. The B cells, the helper B cells, can just pump and produces 2,000 antibodies per sec. They release these antibodies. Those antibody clings onto the antigen of the viruses, rips the viruses apart, and the whole virus structure is broken down. Well, yeah, that's the end of all of the viruses. But before that, we need to understand why there is antibody. Antibody are quite simple. Even before we got the antibody, we don't even have them. But we got attacked by viruses, that kind. Even if we manage to defeat them, that kind of virus can cause damages. So much damages, irreversible damages, leading to long life disabilities. So vaccines prepare us for this. They prop us. Vaccines are just the antigen, the dead one, or the weak version of the virus or bacteria that we're fighting. It injects that stuff into our body. And just like a virus coming, the antigen or those kinds of dead, weak parts of the viruses are still detected by our immune system. They rush to the battle and then kill them. Even though they are harmless and even the macrophages can kill them, the T cells still have to come. And they became memory cells. They remember that kind of virus. They was like, oh, I remember that kind of virus has a bad attitude. The next time when the real virus, not the experimented one, not the vaccine one, enters our immune system, what do? They already have the antibody because you need to experience that virus one time to get the antibody you need without failing and dying, that is. Then you use the antibody to pump up, and then you may be immune for that virus or that disease forever. Why was that made? That was made to protect everybody. Not to lower our immune system rate of fighting, that is. It just wants to upgrade our biology, our technology, our medicine, in caring for public health. With the vaccines, our public health protection and care had leveled up lots of times. And today, scientists are still discovering vaccines for many unvaccinable diseases and many dangerous diseases that we don't have vaccines for yet. That is all today, and thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, a like, subscribe, or share down below. Thank you so much. This is the end. Thank you for listening to me.